Coach, how'd the break go for y'all? And then just from the couple days of practice that y'all have had since coming back, how do you think the team has gotten back into the flow of things?
Well, the break was great. It was very nice to spend a little time with family and the girls as well, especially coming off 2 wins. That was definitely nice to be able to go into the break with 2 wins. Um, I think coming back, I mean, it is what it normally is. It's a little sluggish. It's a little, they got to catch their breath a little bit, kind of get themselves back into shape real quick. But I think their focus has been good. I think we've tried to pay attention to some details and try to fine tune some things over the past couple of days to just try to move forward, obviously into Incarnate Word, but also conference play to just try to tweak some things and get some better looks offensively, and then obviously to clean some things up defensively, particularly in our zones.
Outside of a win tomorrow, what would constitute a successful game, last game before conference play?
Well, just so we can see that we've improved on some areas, I mean, like execution, I think we've still got to continue to get some better execution and help each other score. Defensively, I want to see a much better defensive effort just for 40 minutes instead of, just maybe a quarter or a half or something like that. Sticking to our game plan for sure. And then obviously, the last game we played, we did not take care of the basketball. It's our worst performance, I would say, of the season as far as turnovers go, and that can't happen. I mean, it doesn't matter what the score is. We've got to take care of the basketball. That's kind of what we need to hang our hat on a little bit this year, is our taking care of the ball and not giving extra possessions away. So definitely want to see better management of the basketball.
Breaks are big in terms of just getting kind of some of the freshness back for your team, but how, I guess, even more important was it for a team, for y'all, that didn't really have that bench depth the first month or so and couldn't go very deep?
I think a break is always good, and especially just in basketball season in general. I mean, it's a long season, and especially when we start in August. So I think just a mental break was great. I think it's great to get, rejuiced with your family and friends, and be able to just kind of give yourself a mental break and to prepare to get back to the grind. And then obviously just giving your legs a chance to recoup a little bit, and also just some injuries that we've had, just some nagging injuries here and there, just to allow the bodies to recover a little bit. So I think the break is always good. I think it's super important to allow your kids time with family, and to understand that, that we value that. We value that time, especially in this day and age that we're living in right now and all the craziness. So I think it was really good for our kids to have that break.
Coach, you brought Nasha in her as a point guard. I guess, what did you see from her? I guess, what have you kind of seen, or do you kind of feel like it's going to be a point guard by committee up until you kind of see something you like from someone, I guess?
Well, I think it's going to continue to be a point guard. We don't have a true point guard on our roster, so yeah, it's definitely going to have to be by committee. And it's just, we want to be able to run the floor and run in transition without having a specific outlet. So we want to continue to try to just rebound the basketball and go with it and try to flow into our offenses a little bit better. And I feel like our kids are doing a good job of that.
Speaking of offense, Alexis has seemed to kind of find her stroke at the three-point line. Can you just speak to what she's been able to do to make sure that not only is she getting good looks, but just being able to kind of drain those shots as well in the flow of the offense?
Are you talking about Tucker?
Yes, Tucker.
Okay, yeah. She can definitely shoot the three, and certainly when we're playing her as maybe the fifth player, meaning the five player, it helps us to be able to stretch that defense out, and if they have a big, to be able to get them out from under the basket and out of the paint. So I think that certainly is going to be a huge key for us to be able to do that, and then it just adds to her game. I mean, she can attack off the dribble. She can post up. She can do a lot of different things. But I think her confidence in shooting the three certainly is going to help us down the road.
Lexi really got it going for you guys. Obviously, sort of, her and Vivian have been really having, very good games for you guys. How important is their play going to be as, you move past Incarnate Word and deeper into the Big 12 play?
Well, it's critical. I mean, they're our best offensive scorers, and so they've got to be able to score the basketball for us. But I do think one of the things that I saw against Southern, particularly, it was efficiency. I thought that Lexi took some good shots. I thought that she was more efficient in her shot selection and was successful at it. You know, I mean, she scored, I think, 24 points off of 11 shots, and that's a lot. That's really good. Got to the free throw line several times, and it was funny because she and Vivian, neither one, were terrific at the free throw line like they were the game before against TCU. So that's just going to be even, and that's unlike them. They're always terrific at the free throw line. So that was very much unlike them. But I think that that's only going to help our team with she and Vivian's shot selections being better and them just being more efficient. And I think that our team is understanding where to get them the basketball and how to help them score, even screening, so that they don't have to do so much just on their own. And that's certainly going to be important moving into Big 12 when the scouts are going to be really intense, and they're going to be very familiar with their play. And so we're going to have to really work at trying to get them good shots so that they don't have to create as many on their own.
Ahead of the last game, you said you wanted to get some of those young bigs minutes. Will this be, sort of another opportunity to get them out there and see what, they have before you really get into the deep things of Big 12 play?
Well, I mean, I would say that every game we have is an opportunity, just like every practice we have is an opportunity. So, we need to rely on them. They've got to come in and help us. There's some specific things that I do think that they can do to help us in Big 12 that we need them to start doing on a consistent basis. But yeah, I mean, minutes are invaluable. So every time that we step on the floor, we need to be able to get them some time so that they can just develop some confidence and feel better about their play and more confident in their play.
You talked about that confidence. Where do you feel in terms of confidence and how deep you can go into your bench as you kind of round into this grind of a full Big 12 season?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a thing that just develops over time. I mean, goodness, we're still under the COVID restrictions as well. So we could easily, maybe lose a player or two here or there and down the stretch and really have to go play some significant minutes with anybody on our team. So, I mean, I'm really pleased with what we're doing and how we're getting there. We have a lot of room for improvement. We've got a lot of room for growth. And I would say that those three freshmen certainly do, just because it's their first year and just trying to learn how to play at this level. But we're going to have to play some kids and depending on foul trouble and minutes and then obviously if we have any type of adversity that strikes along the way. So, I think it's a great opportunity for every kid every time we step on the floor.
Coming off of this holiday, obviously you mentioned a little sluggish coming off of the holiday break, but how beneficial is it to, play a game like this before you jump right back into that Big 12 play?
Yeah, we definitely want to get our feet back under us and try to get some of that turkey off of us, if you will. So, it's just, I've always tried to schedule that way because we want to try to just get back in that groove and get some rhythm before we get into conference play. So we were very fortunate that it worked out because, as you know, the schedule was crazy this year, and right up until the season started, did we even know what was finalized, and obviously lost some games during the conference or during the schedule as well. So I think it's huge for us to be able to come out and play on our home court. And Incarnate Word's a good team. I mean, they're a very good team. I know Coach Dow really well. We've been friends for a really long time. We were in the same league at the Sun Belt when he was at Monroe. So I know his team will play very hard. They'll execute well. They'll share the ball well. And they're going to want to take advantage of an opportunity of playing a Power 5 on their home court. So it's going to be a tough game, and it's a good one for us to play before we get back into Big 12.
Apologies if you've mentioned this before, but did Andrea suffer any sort of setback after she played those 19 minutes against Angelo State, or where is she at in terms of health and readiness to play?
She's unavailable right now to play.
Coach, when you look at Vivian, and she's obviously been heralded her whole career for scoring, and defense, obviously, but she brings so much to the team outside of that. Can you kind of speak to what she does that might not appear as much on the stat sheet?
Yeah, for sure. I've been really pleased with Vivian's, just the way that she has adapted to this new environment and to this new team. We've asked her to do a lot of things outside of scoring, and obviously it certainly helps to have Lexi be able to score the basketball as well. But I feel like that Vivian is really showing what a complete player she is. She's finding the open player really, really well. And I think her teammates are getting used to being available or making sure that they're available when she does get doubled or whatever the case may be, and finding ways to put themselves in position to finish passes off for her. She's rebounding the basketball at a really high level, and of course she defends at a really high level. So when we grade our films, we have specific things that we look for that just kind of don't show up on a stat sheet. And particularly like against TCU, she graded one of the highest we've had this season for sure, but also just even in the teams that I've coached before because of the little things that she does. And I think she's really showing her value as a player, maybe even at the next level that goes far beyond points being scored. And I think it's really important that she and her teammates understand what all she's doing for us.
Coach, did you like that little dip in the Big 12 play that you guys got? Was it able to provide you something that maybe in past years you didn't have from a team in terms of being able to see them a little bit in conference play before you go into it?
I did not like that dip in Waco. I mean, if that's what you're asking, that wasn't fun at all. But, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know that that's how we would want to do things, obviously, moving forward if we don't have to, because we really want to be able to prepare and put our best foot forward, when we do start conference play. But at the same time, I do think that it was very eye-opening and maybe some urgency had to set in quickly about how many things we had to improve on and the level that you have to get to be able to compete in the Big 12. And then also I think that it gave us a good gauge at where we're at. I mean, I think that, obviously we've got a lot of work to do and a lot of things to be able to compete with Baylor. But I thought that our girls fought really, really hard against TCU and found a way to win when things weren't going well. And so that early. And so that really taught us a lot about our team as far as, we're not out of it. It doesn't matter what the score is. We're not out of it. And we've got to continue to fight and depend on each other.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.